Is it the right time for you to be buying or selling a home? Don't go it alone. Trust the team at dangemus.com.
I just wanted to say kudos. I thought it. A lot of people are thinking it. You said it.
This is the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show.
Okay, everybody, welcome back to the show. Dan Gemus here. A reminder that if you are looking to make a move, the Dan Gemus team is always here to help. You can reach out to us 7 days a week at 519-566-5565. You can also find us online at dangemus.com. In the meantime, it's time for our mortgage segment with our good friend Ron Bondy from the Super Mortgage team. Hey, Ron, how are you?
Fantastic. How about yourself?
Well, fantastic. Listen, our fun question of the day today is, what's one home upgrade you wish you had done sooner? What would you say, Ron?
Well, that's an easy one, Dan. When I built the house, I wish I would have finished the basement.
Ah, yes. That's a common wish for sure. That because, you don't realize how messy it can be, first of all, after the fact.
Sure. Yeah, after the fact. It costs you at least 3 times more than it would have costed you while building.
Yep.
And then B, you know how fine drywall dust is getting into your heating system?
It's a pain.
It's horrible.
100%. I know. But so often people, they build a house, it's already expensive as it is, and they just want to save a few bucks where they can, right? So they just say, you know what, I'll do the basement later. But you're right. It is definitely usually more expensive later, unless you can do it yourself, unless you're handy. It is usually more expensive later for sure.
Well, funny story. Let me just give you a comparison here. So my first house, again, didn't finish the basement, but I'm pretty handy, so I did it myself.
Yeah.
Finished the whole basement, did the whole bathroom. Now, the bathroom costed me $5,000 in materials for me to finish it.
Sure.
Okay. Now I build my next house again, did not finish the basement because I'm like, hey, I'll do it myself again. So but the builder says, I'm like, okay, how much to finish the bathroom? Because I hate doing anything with water.
Yes,
okay?
10 to 15.
$3,000. He's like, oh, it'll cost $3,000 to finish your bathroom. Exact same size bathroom as I finished in my other house. So it was $2,000 cheaper.
That's a good deal.
To have somebody else do it while they were finishing the house, like while they were doing everything. And so at the same time they were finishing the house, they did the one bathroom in the basement, and it was $2,000 cheaper to get that done than for me to do it myself with the material.
I thought you were going to tell me they wanted to charge you a whole bunch more. So there you go. See? Just do it beforehand.
Exactly. That's why it's so much cheaper.
Oh, my goodness. So, listen, so much going on over the last couple of weeks with tariffs, no tariffs, tariffs, no tariffs. We don't really know anymore. But one thing we do know is that spring is coming. There's no doubt about it.
Hopefully, we hope. The snow's melting, so we're hoping spring's coming.
Oh, my God. So our tip today is how to get ready, financially ready for the spring season. So what are some tips?
Exactly. So, okay. So let's start off this way. Most people don't think about getting a pre-approval before the spring market.
Yes.
They go look at a house and then they're like, oh my God, I need a pre-approval. And that's about, hundreds of thousands of people that are doing the exact same thing. So it makes it kind of difficult for you to get in. So you want to go get a pre-approval early. Now, a lot of people think, I want to wait because my pre-approvals only last, how long do they last, Dan?
3 months?
3 months, exactly.
90
to 120, 90 to 120 days, depending on the lender. So they want to wait till the last minute so their pre-approval lasts the longest so that they can get a house and then, still have time for their locked-in rate.
Sure.
But we're in a declining market. Okay.
Yep.
So that locked-in rate doesn't really mean anything because we're in a declining market. Tariffs come in, it's going to only decline further.
Sure.
So we're not too worried about locked-in rates at this point. Reason why you want to come in first is, let's say something shows up on your credit bureau. Do you know how long it takes to get that off your credit bureau?
I would guess, I don't know, 2 to 4 months, maybe 6 months. Well, how long?
So typically it takes, so an error, it takes about 2 months to get off your credit bureau.
Okay.
Now let's say you need to clean up a couple bills. So, and you need to jump your credit score. So let's say you think everything's fine. You come in to my office and I say, hey, you have this bad debt on your credit bureau. You can pay that off and get it off your credit bureau. How long will it take for your credit score to jump?
I would say 3 months, 3 months.
So for your credit score to jump after paying off a bill, you're looking at 3 to 6 months.
Okay, 3 to 6 months. Okay. That's fair. Sure.
So this is why, like, reasons why you want to come in early. Now, another reason. Now, let's say you have a lot of little debts with bigger monthly payments. So that's going to affect your affordability on your home.
Sure.
Now, we might tell somebody that you have a lot of little debts with big monthly payments, combine those debts in a consolidation loan, and then it'll lower your monthly payment so that way you can afford a bigger home. Now, that again takes time, right? That's going to take about, again, another month to put into place. Mm-hmm. So those people that are waiting till the last minute, they just might have lost their timing.
Yes.
Right, exactly. So, and then there's so many other reasons. Open up a first-time home buyer's account if you're first-time home buyers. Save yourself a little bit of tax money come tax season next year just by taking part of your down payment and putting it in that account. So there's little tricks that we can help you with. As long as we got time to be able to help you with it if you want to be ready for the spring market.
Now, I've got a bit of an unrelated question, a little related to credit, though. So when you look at someone's credit score, Ron, do you find certain things affecting it more than others? And what I mean by that is if somebody misses a car payment, for example, as opposed to having a credit card that's over leveraged, does something affect the score more than something else? Are you aware of that?
So number one rule of thumb: never miss a mortgage payment. Okay?
A mortgage, okay.
So that is number one. If you have a mortgage, miss every other payment except for that one. That's the one that counts the biggest.
So I was going to say that would have the most effect on a credit score, Ron? Is that what you're saying?
So while it'll have an effect on a credit score, not more than missing payments on the other. But what's going to happen is lenders look at that if you're not paying your mortgage at that institute, why do I want to take you on at this institute?
Sure, that's fair.
So that's a big one for lenders to get big red flags and run away.
Now, in Canada, is it not true that Canadians, maybe North Americans, typically the home and the living payment would be the last thing that they miss? They'll miss car payments and credit card payments before they miss a mortgage payment or a rent payment for the most part? Typically,
yes. Yeah, typically for sure. And if you're going to miss payments, everybody regulators that's listening to this, close your ears. If you're going to miss payments, miss your electrical, your heat, and your water payments, because those don't report to the credit bureau.
Okay.
So those don't affect your credit bureau at all. But if you're going to miss credit card payments, that's bad. Car payments are worse. Mortgage payments are the worst. So, but like I said, try if you have to, try to make sure to pick things that don't report to the credit bureau.
So again, going back to your previous statement, if a client comes in and their credit score is just, you need to, like you said, have it bounce pretty quickly. What are the top 3 things you'd recommend they do? If they only have a month or two, what's the best advice you'd give to somebody?
So the best advice I give to somebody that's cleaning up their credit bureau is always attack your highest interest credit.
Okay.
So like if you have a credit card and a line of credit and the credit card's over leveraged,
Sure.
pay off your credit card with your line of credit so that you're paying off 8% interest, or you're paying off a 22,
Yeah.
22 to 25 interest rate with your 8% interest rate. And then you're working on paying off that 8% interest rate. But every payment you're making is a lot less because you're paying less interest on that credit card. So, or sorry, on that line of credit. So that would be my advice, is always to attack your highest interest credit. Now, as like to try to jump your score, so a good consolidation loan always helps. So if you go, because what you're doing is you're paying off all your debt that's close to the limits, and that's what's hurting your credit score is when you're close to your limits. So where you want to be on your credit card is about under 50% of the credit card limit. So if you have $1,000 limit, don't spend more than $500 on it per month. Make sure you pay that off every month. So if you're at, let's say if you're at 900, then they add the interest, you might hit that 1,000.
Yeah.
So every time you hit that limit, your credit score gets hit negatively. And then another thing that I always tell people is never, ever cancel your credit card. If you were 18 and you had this credit card and haven't used it in 10 years, well, that's great. Just cut it up, shred it, and don't use it. But keep it on your credit bureau because part of your score is the length that you've had your credit for.
Oh, interesting.
So if you close that credit card, you just diminish the length of your credit history, which is going to negatively affect your credit.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah. So it's not canceling the credit card that really hits your credit, that hurts your credit, and that's what a lot of people think.
Sure.
It's just the history. So, for example, if you had 2 credit cards that were that old and you canceled one, it wouldn't affect your credit score. But if you only had one, when you were 17, which most people only have one, let's face it, and then you cancel that, well, you just
your history's
minimize your history. Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Some good tips today, Ron. If anyone has questions for you, what's the best way to reach out to get a pre-approval?
They can call me on my cell phone at 519-791-2961, or they can get in touch with one of your lovely agents.
And again, you can help with a pre-approval. You can help with refinancing as well. And
advice on going through their credit bureau. Like we do it all. We play the long game here.
Fantastic. I love it, Ron. Thanks as always. We'll chat with you in a couple weeks.
Perfect. Thanks, Dan.
Thanks. See, that's Ron Bondy with the Super Mortgage team. So any questions, reach out to his team or reach out to ours, and we're happy to put you in touch. So there you go. Lots of great information there from Ron Bondy from the Super Mortgage team. We're going to take a break, come back with more right here on the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show.